This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. India's Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to all state chief ministers on Friday. He told them to identify all Pakistani nationals in their respective states and to take steps to ensure their prompt return to Pakistan. Pakistan was exposed once again as 3 terrorists behind the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack have been identified as LET terrorists. J&K police confirmed that one of the terrorists involved in the Pahalgam massacre is Adil Hussain Tokar, a resident of Anantnag. While the other 2 terrorists identified by police are Ali Bhai alias Talha Bhai and Hashim Musa alias Suleiman, both referred to as Pak National LET terrorists. Residential premises of 2 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists in South Kashmir's Pulwama and Anantnag districts were demolished. The demolition action comes as part of intensified efforts by security agencies to crack down on those aiding and abetting terrorism in the region. As the nation bids farewell to loved ones, Naksh Kalathia, son of deceased Shailesh Kalathia, revealed that the terrorists recorded the killings on their body cams. India's Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi visited Srinagar and Udhampur and reviewed the security situation at the Northern Command headquarters. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi met with Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha. Lieutenant Governor said that every perpetrator and supporter of Pahalgam terror attack must be hunted down. The Ministry of External Affairs clarified that long-term visas already issued to Hindu Pakistani nationals will remain valid. India announced a series of measures against Pakistan following the Pahalgam terror attack. India wrote to Pakistan that the Indus Waters Treaty 1960 will be held in abeyance with immediate effect. Indian Embassy in Washington defended the decision to freeze the 1960 Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan, asserting that cooperation cannot continue with a nation responsible for killing civilians. India's Human Rights Commission condemned the killing of innocent civilians by terrorists in Pahalgam. The commission also said that time has come to act against those aiding, abetting and supporting terrorism. Several members of parliament in the United Kingdom strongly condemned terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. The MPs expressed their grief and solidarity with India. The Indian diaspora gathered outside the Indian High Commission in London to honour the victims of the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam. The Indian High Commission in London held a tribute ceremony at the India House in remembrance of the terrorist attack victims in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. High Commissioner Vikram Doraiswamy led the tribute, condemning the attack and reaffirming India's resolve against terrorism. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Netherlands Prime Minister Dick Schoof called Prime Minister Modi on Friday. Both the leaders condemned the terror attack and expressed solidarity with the people of India. Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake spoke to Prime Minister Modi on Friday and expressed solidarity with victims' families. King Abdullah II of Jordan, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, President of Egypt Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also reached out to Prime Minister Modi, strongly condemning the terror attack. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Ambassador of Egypt Kamal Zayed, Ambassador of Israel Ruven Azar and Ambassador of Argentina Mariano Causino in New Delhi. The Indian Air Force conducted exercise Akraman across the central sector involving frontline fighters, notably the Rafale jets from Ambala and Hashimara bases. The drills feature complex ground attack and electronic warfare missions with assets mobilized from multiple bases, including the east. The exercise took place amid heightened India-Pakistan tensions post the Pahalgam attack. The exercise is under Air Headquarters' close watch. In exercise Akraman, top pilots are participating with additions like Rafales and S-400 system. India's air dominance in the region is reinforced. Markets in the national capital Delhi remained closed on Friday as traders have called for a band to protest the terror attack in Pahalgam. The Confederation of All India Traders called for a complete market shutdown in response to the terror attack and as a mark of tribute to those who lost their lives. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad conducted a Havan, a fire ritual, and expressed condolences to the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack in New Delhi. Security forces launched a search operation in Bandipora, Jammu and Kashmir, following information about presence of terrorists in the area. Rajasthan police and armed forces patrolled across the border areas of the state and inspected hotels and dharamshalas following the Pahalgam terror attack. A local court in Assam's Nagaon district sent AIUDF MLA Aminul Islam to 4 days police remand on Friday. Assam Police former ISRO chief Dr. K. Kasturirangan died in Bengaluru at age of 84. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief over the demise of Dr. Kasturirangan, describing him as a towering figure in India's scientific and educational journey. India's President Draupadi Murmu landed in Rome on Friday. President Murmu will represent India at the state funeral of His Holiness Pope Francis. Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the inaugural session of the Conference of Vice Chancellors of State, Central and Private Universities of Tamil Nadu. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal addressed India Steel 6th International Exhibition in Mumbai on Friday. He said, in many government projects, the use of Indian-made steel has been made compulsory. India on Friday reaffirmed its commitment to the Neighbourhood First policy by sending $2 million worth of medical aid to Nepal. The assistance includes medicines and vaccines for patients with thalassemia and sickle cell disease. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath paid floral tribute to late former UP Chief Minister Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna on his birth anniversary in Lucknow. Bharatiya Janata Party regained control of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi as Sardar Raja Iqbal Singh is elected as the new Mayor of Delhi. Chief Minister of Uttarakhand Pushkar Singh Dhami inspected the Char Dham Yatra registration office and the preparations for the Yatra starting from April 30th. Keel laying ceremony for Yard 3040, the fourth next-generation offshore patrol vessel, was held in Kolkata. This milestone marks a significant step towards India's indigenous shipbuilding capabilities. On to business news. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note in the volatile session on Friday. At close, Sensex declined 589 points to settle at 79,213. Nifty slipped 254 points to settle at 23,992. At the Forex market, Indian rupee gained 25 paise to settle at 85 rupees 8 paise against the US dollar on Friday. Gold futures for June 5th maturity stood at 95,084 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for May 5th maturity stood at 97,354 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Asian stock markets closed slightly higher today. It is the second straight week of gains on Friday and the dollar for its first weekly rise in more than a month. So South Korea's Kospi ended up 24 points at 2,546, while Japan's Nikkei 225 index climbed nearly 1% to 35,705. US stocks closed higher on Thursday, extending their rally from a solid boost from tech shares. All three major US stock indices rose, with the Magnificent Seven group of AI-related mega caps giving Nasdaq the edge. The S&P 500 gained 109 points to end at 5,485. Nasdaq Composite Index gained 453 points to 17,161. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 483 points to 40,090. Oil prices were set for a weekly decline of nearly 2% on the back of oversupply concerns. Brent crude futures fell 2 cents to $66.53 a barrel, falling 2.2% on the week. We are heading for a short break here on DD India. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned.
we explore various ways in which the delicate balance between urban development and environmental responsibility can be found.
We should have a target today that a minimal certain percentage of land must protected as for agricultural and horticultural purposes.
Our urban agriculture programs are designed to tackle food security and meet the nutritional needs of the poorest.
In future, caves will become more attractive as they have a direct impact on the fight against climate change.
The government is going to implement a scrapping policy designed to take old polluting vehicles off the road to reduce India's carbon footprint. So we are converting existing petrol motorcycles and scooters into electric ones.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Friday claimed that the country is close to reaching a deal with the US to end the conflict in Ukraine. Lavrov said that Moscow is ready to do a deal on its conflict in Ukraine after Donald Trump urged Vladimir Putin to halt attacks in a rare rebuke following the deadliest strikes on Kiev in months. US President Donald Trump said he's not happy after Russia launched attacks on Kiev in 9 months, urging President Vladimir Putin to agree on a ceasefire proposal. The Ukrainian capital came under one of its heaviest attacks this year, with Russia launching drones and missiles overnight, killing at least 12 people in Kiev. Trump's direct appeal to Putin came after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the country's allies to put more pressure on Russia to put an end to the conflict. Trump told reporters at the White House that his administration was applying a lot of pressure on Russia and reiterated his displeasure with the attack. The president added later that Washington was also pressuring Kiev. US President Donald Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Friday at what Trump had described as a key moment in diplomacy to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump signed an executive order to expand US deep-sea mining for rare earth minerals in domestic and international waters on Thursday, despite warnings by environmental groups. Under the order, the Secretary of Commerce has 60 days to expedite the process for reviewing and issuing seabed mineral exploration licenses and commercial recovery permits in areas beyond national jurisdiction. The United States is poised to offer Saudi Arabia an arms package worth well over $100 billion. The proposal was being lined up for announcement during US President Donald Trump's visit to the kingdom. US President Donald Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to meet Iranian officials for the third straight week as their adversaries seek a nuclear deal. The State Department announced that Witkoff would himself attend the technical talks to take place on Saturday in Oman, where he held his first meeting with the Rakchi on April 12th. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that trade discussions with South Korea could advance faster than expected. Bessent praised South Korea's proactive approach and hinted at technical negotiations starting next week. Israel's army chief, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, visiting troops in Gaza on Thursday, threatened to expand the offensive in Gaza if hostages were not released. The warning came as the army issued fresh evacuation orders for northern areas of Gaza. 5 Thai police officers were killed when a small plane crashed into the sea during a parachute training drill near a resort town on Friday. Authorities are examining the aircraft's black box data recorder to determine the cause of the crash. Dozens of Dominicans led by a nationalist NGO protested outside the government palace in Santo Domingo. They urged President Luis Abinader to halt the Haitianization of the country. Huge landslides due to heavy rain have occurred in regions of Sikkim in India, with over 1,000 tourists stranded due to the vehicular movement being affected. Authorities have directed all the tour operators to not send their tourists to North Sikkim, and permits will not be issued today. Road till Chungtang is inaccessible at night. India Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert in Delhi on April 25th, 26th. Temperatures may go up to 43 degrees Celsius in these 2 days. IMD has issued advisory for continuation of the ongoing heavy rainfall spells in parts of northeast India till April 27th. World's largest expo, the Shanghai Auto Expo, featured over 100 new car models with high-tech digital cockpits, in-car refrigerators and hot pot making facilities exclusively for Chinese consumers. Archaeologists discovered the remains of a woman who, according to evidence found in her tomb, may have belonged to the elite of the Carol civilization that developed 5,000 years ago in northern Peru. French Emperor Napoleon's sword will soon be up for auction in Paris. Preserved since 1815, it will be put up for auction on May 22nd in Paris. Swedish archaeologists are studying a rare discovery from 16th century iron found from a shipwreck near Stockholm. It may help them understand the history of trade during that era. Vietnam's Hue is anticipating a significant surge in tourism as they prepare for the Four Seasons Festival within Hue's National Tourism Year 2025. April 25th marks the Anzac Day, the national day of commemoration of Australia and New Zealand for victims of war and for recognition of the role of their armed forces. To mark the day, Britain's Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, Australia's and New Zealand's High Commissioner to the UK, Stephen Smith and Chris Seed attended a ceremony in London's Hyde Park. The 83rd edition of the Golden Globes will be held on January 11th, 2026 at the Beverly Hilton, Los Angeles. Time magazine held its Time 100 Gala in New York City, celebrating Time's list of world's 100 most influential people. Hosted by rapper Snoop Dogg, the event had performances by honorees Ed Sheeran and Miles Smith. The Time 100 Impact Award was given to American gymnast Simone Biles. The release date for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning in India has been preponed by 6 days and will now hit the theatres on May 17th. Gilmore Girls fame Lauren Graham has joined the cast of Reminders of Him. It is an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel It Ends With Us. Star Wars director George Lucas opened the TCM Classic Film Festival on Thursday with Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, a sequel to the original 1977 Star Wars. New comedy miniseries The Four Seasons had its Hollywood premiere at the DGA on Thursday. The series starts streaming on May 1st on Netflix. The teaser for Tushar Kapoor and Shreyas Talpade's upcoming horror comedy movie Kap Kapi has been released today. The movie will release in theatres on May 23rd. On to sports news now. A jersey worn by late basketball legend Kobe Bryant during his Los Angeles Lakers preseason and regular season debuts was sold for $7 million in New York on Thursday. In IPL, Chennai Super Kings lock horns with Sunrisers Hyderabad in match 43 of the tournament on Friday. Chennai Super Kings legend MS Dhoni will be playing the 400th T20 of his career during the IPL clash against Sunrisers Hyderabad. Royal Challengers Bengaluru finally ended their home ground jinx for this season's IPL as they beat Rajasthan Royals by 11 runs at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium on Thursday. RCB's Virat Kohli emerged as the top scorer with 70 runs while Josh Hazlewood took 4 wickets to lead the team to victory. Josh Hazlewood levelled former Mumbai Indians speedster Mitchell McClellan's record for fastest 50 IPL wickets by a fast bowler. Kolkata Knight Riders are all set to take on Punjab Kings at the iconic Eden Gardens in Kolkata on Saturday. Roger Federer will serve as official starter for this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans sports car race in June. Coco Gauff fought from a set down to beat Ukrainian Diana Yastremska and book a spot in the third round of Madrid Open. Second seed Iga Swiatek beat Alexandra Ella and advanced to the third round of Madrid Open. Meanwhile, in men's singles, Joe Fonseca defeated Elmer Moller in straight sets to advance to the second round of Madrid Open. Vancouver Whitecaps secured a 2-0 upset win over Messi's Inter Miami in the first leg of their CONCACAF Champions Cup semi-final. Jamie Vardy will bid farewell to Leicester City this summer, bringing an end to a legendary 13-year spell at the club. Former marathon world record holder and 4-time champion Eliud Kipchoge is set to take part in next week's London Marathon. And Kolkata's Viraj Madappa clinched the PGTI Players' Championship on Friday. This marked Madappa's first event win after returning from a long injury layoff. So that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.